I caught my cheating wife when her GPS led me straight to his house. It was a Tuesday evening, the kind of mundane night where you're just settling into the couch with a beer, expecting nothing but the hum of routine. I'd been married to Jessica for 7 years, and while our marriage wasn't a fairy tale, I thought we were solid. We had a 5-year-old daughter, Lily, a cozy house in suburban Ohio, and a life that felt like it was on track. But that night, something felt off. Jessica had been distant for months. Late nights at work, vague excuses, and a phone that was suddenly password protected. I'm not proud of it, but I checked her location on our shared GPS app. The dot wasn't at her office. It was at a house 20 miles away, in a neighborhood I'd never heard of. My gut churned. I grabbed my keys, told our babysitter I'd be back soon, and followed that dot. What I found when I got there shattered everything I thought I knew. We'd met in college, Jessica and I, at Ohio State. She was a marketing major, sharp as a tack, with a laugh that could light up a room. I was studying engineering, more reserved, but she brought me out of my shell. We got married at 25, had Lily at 27, and settled into a life in a quiet Columbus suburb. Our house was a fixer-upper we'd poured our hearts into. New floors, a backyard swing set for Lily, the works. Jessica worked at a mid-sized ad agency, and I was a structural engineer for a local firm. Life was busy but good, or so I thought. The cracks started showing about a year ago. Jessica began staying late at work, claiming big projects and looming deadlines. I didn't question it at first. She'd always been ambitious. But the late nights turned into weekend meetings, and her phone became a fortress. She'd leave the room to take calls, and when I asked who it was, she'd snap, "Just work, Matt, relax." I'm not the jealous type, but the secrecy gnawed at me. She started dressing differently, too. New dresses, heels, perfume I didn't recognize. She said it was for client meetings, but I wasn't buying it. Still, I trusted her. I loved her. I didn't want to be that guy, snooping and paranoid. Then came the GPS app. We'd both installed it years ago, mostly for convenience, picking Lily up from daycare, coordinating errands. I hadn't checked it in ages, but that Tuesday, something snapped. Lily was asleep, the house was quiet, and Jessica had texted me at 6 p.m. saying she'd be home late. By 8 p.m., I was restless. I opened the app, half expecting to see her at her office downtown. Instead, the dot sat in Worthington, a suburb north of us. I zoomed in. Not an office building, a residential street. My heart pounded. Maybe it was a glitch. Maybe she was at a friend's. But deep down, I knew. I told our babysitter, Mrs. Carter, I had to run an errand. The drive was 20 minutes, but it felt like hours. My hands gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white, as I rehearsed what I'd say if I was wrong. "Hey, Jess, just checking on you." But what if I wasn't wrong? I didn't let myself think about it. The GPS led me to a quiet cul-de-sac lined with well-kept houses. Her car, a silver Honda Accord, was parked in the driveway of a modern 2-story home. I pulled over a block away, my stomach in knots. The house was nice, too nice for some casual coworker meetup. Lights glowed from the living room, and I could see shadows moving inside. I sat there for 10 minutes, debating. Was I really going to do this? Knock on a stranger's door and demand answers? I almost turned back. But then I saw her silhouette in the window. Jessica's unmistakable figure, her hair pulled up the way she did when she was relaxed. She was laughing, leaning close to someone. A man, my blood ran cold. I got out of the car, my legs shaky, and walked up to the house. The front door was glass-paneled, and through it I saw them. Jessica, in a dress I'd never seen, sitting on a couch next to a guy, mid-30s, fit, with dark hair. They were sharing a bottle of wine, their knees touching. I didn't knock. I just stood there, frozen, watching my wife act like she was on a date. I don't know how long I stood there before I called her. My hands were trembling as I dialed. Through the glass, I saw her pick up her phone, glance at it, and hesitate. She declined the call. A second later, I got a text. At the office, wrapping up. "Be home by 10. The lie hit me like a punch. I called again. This time she answered, her voice bright and fake. "Hey, honey, what's up?" "Where are you?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. "At work. I told you, big project." "Really?" "Because I'm looking at your car in some guy's driveway in Worthington." Silence. I watched her through the window as her face went pale. She stood up, walked to the kitchen, out of sight from the guy. "Matt, what are you talking about?" "I'm at the office. Jess, I'm outside the house. I see you." "I see him," she hung up. A minute later, the front door opened, and there she was, her face a mix of panic and defiance. "Matt, what the hell are you doing here?" she hissed, stepping onto the porch and closing the door behind her. "Who is he?" I demanded, my voice louder than I meant. I didn't care if the neighbors heard. "It's not what you think," she started, but I cut her off. "Don't lie to me. I saw you. The wine, the laughing, the dress. Who is he, Jessica?" She crossed her arms, looking away. "His name's Brian. He's a client. We were just going over some campaign stuff." "In his house? At 9 p.m., you declined my call and lied about being at the office." Her eyes filled with tears, but I wasn't falling for it. "Matt, I swear, it's not—" "Stop!" I held up my hand. "How long has this been going on?" She didn't answer, just stared at the ground. That was enough. I turned and walked back to my car, ignoring her calling my name. I drove home in a daze, my mind replaying every moment of the past year, the late nights, the excuses, the distance. When I got home, Mrs. Carter asked if everything was okay. I mumbled something and sent her home. I checked on Lily, sleeping peacefully, and sat on the couch, staring at the wall until Jessica got home at 11. She walked in, her face streaked with mascara. "Matt, we need to talk." "No shit," I said, my voice low so I wouldn't wake Lily. "Tell me everything." It came out in pieces. Brian was a client, like she'd said, but it had turned into more. They'd been seeing each other for 4 months. She swore it wasn't physical yet, just emotional, late-night talks, dinners. She said she was unhappy, felt trapped in our routine, and Brian made her feel alive. I listened, numb, as she tried to justify it. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she kept saying. "I wanted to scream, but I just asked her to sleep in the guest room. The next week was hell." I couldn't look at her without seeing her on that couch with him. We barely spoke, just went through the motions for Lily's sake. I started digging, because I needed to know how deep this went. I checked her phone bill, hundreds of texts to a number I didn't recognize, late-night calls going back months. I found an email account she'd left logged in on our family laptop, full of messages to Brian. They weren't just talks. She'd written things like, "I can't wait to be with you," and "You make me feel like I'm 20 again." I felt sick reading them, but I couldn't stop. There were photos, too, not explicit, but intimate. Her in that dress, smiling at a restaurant I'd never been to. Him with his arm around her. I confronted her again. This time she didn't deny it. "I'm sorry, Matt. I love you, but I think I love him, too." That was the moment I knew we were done. I couldn't share her, and I couldn't trust her. I told her I wanted a divorce. She cried, begged me to go to counseling, said she'd end it with Brian. But the trust was gone. I couldn't unsee her in that house, laughing with him while I sat at home with our daughter. I met with a lawyer the next day. Ohio's a no-fault divorce state, so her affair wouldn't affect much legally, but I wanted primary custody of Lily. Jessica didn't fight it. She knew she'd screwed up. We agreed to sell the house, split the proceeds, and share custody, though Lily would live with me most of the time. I moved into a smaller place, a rental in Dublin, still close to Lily's school. Jessica got an apartment downtown. She says she's ended things with Brian, but I don't care enough to check. The hardest part was telling Lily. She's only 5, so we kept it simple. "Mommy and Daddy are going to live in different houses." "But we both love you," she cried, asked if it was her fault. I held her, told her no, but it broke my heart. I'm trying to keep things normal for her. Same bedtime stories, same pancake Sundays. But every time I see Jessica's car pull up for her custody days, I feel that same gut punch from that night. It's been 6 months now. I'm still angry, but I'm rebuilding. I started therapy, which helps me process the betrayal. I've got Lily, my job, and a new place that's starting to feel like home. I don't know if I'll ever trust someone like I trusted Jessica, but I'm trying to focus on what I can control. The GPS app's still on my phone, but I don't check it anymore. I don't need to. The truth already led me to the place I never wanted to go.